Welcome back to Harmony in the Hustle. I am so glad you are here today. I'm your host, Angela Vassallo, and today's episode is going to be a great one because right now I am right in the depth of creating my keynote talk for International Women's Day. So I'm going to be the speaker for the Women of Influence on the Gold Coast on March the 10th, and we've sold over 600 tickets so far, so I've heard. It's a sellout, and there's going to be incredible women in the room. And my intention is to bring an amazing, inspirational, transformational keynote to these women. And I want to share my story, and I want to be able to give them some incredible insights, plus some really good tips that they can take away and implement in their lives based around a lot of the things that I have learned and discovered in my years of business and leadership and mindset. So I can't wait to do that. So I've been putting that together this week, and a lot of things have popped up for me, and I wanted to share some of the thoughts that I have at the moment and what I'm starting to understand, this powerful realization of what I'm seeing happening right now with a lot of women, and especially navigating identity shifts. So what I realize is this: as women, look, and men, but I'm gonna talk around women right now. These identity shifts that we go through, I call them different chapters and different seasons that we all go through, and different versions of ourselves emerge through these different chapters and different seasons. And I want to say to you right now, if you're feeling unsettled, or if you're feeling a bit lost or uncertain, or you might be feeling like you're evolving, or you're stepping out of this, who you were before, and letting go of an old identity because it doesn't fit you anymore. And I understand how you feel. But what happens is when we go through a lot of these identity shifts, it's going to require different things from you. See, different decisions, different seasons, different energy levels, and different standards are going to be required for you to move through each chapter and each season and each identity shift. So if you are one of these women in this place in your life right now, and you're feeling that because, we have gone from the snake shedding into the horse year, and momentum has started. It'll all start on February the 17th. If you're feeling like that, you're not alone. A lot of people are feeling it. So this episode today is for you. If that's where you are right now and you're needing a little bit of guidance and support around that, I'm going to share some things that might be able to help you here today because I know exactly how you feel. So stay tuned because this episode is definitely going to be a great one for you. Okay, so I believe this: alignment is the assignment. And it's taken me to the age of 53 to figure this out. See, I was the girl always on the hamster wheel, always running. I used to wake up in the morning and just go. And I didn't know anything else. I thought that's what you're supposed to do. I thought you're supposed to hustle harder, do long days, give it more. If it's not working, push harder. That was my mindset. And then one day I heard this story. So this story was all about a fly. And just imagine this. Have you seen a fly goes up to a window and it keeps buzzing at a window, and it's trying to get out of the window, right? It's trying to break out through the glass, and it keeps buzzing, and it's buzzing up and down, keeps pushing harder and harder and harder. You ever seen a fly do that? Well, what it doesn't understand is the harder it pushes, the faster it's killing itself. But right behind it is an open door. So if it decided to turn around at any time, it could fly straight out the door and it would be free. But it keeps pushing at the glass window, up and down, and slowly burning out, losing its energy and killing itself. And the whole story around that is, where in your life are you consistently pushing at something and getting nowhere? Because when I realized that, I thought, oh my God, that's what I do. If it's not working, my mindset was push harder, keep going, don't quit. And I was slowly killing myself and getting nowhere, when in reality, all I had to do was turn around and there was an open door. So once we stop pushing at things that are not working for us or don't fit us anymore, or shedding the old identities, or pivoting in our careers, or making changes in our lives, this is where everything starts to click and everything starts to change. The moment you're able to let go and stop pushing, you start attracting. Again, it's taken me to the age of 53 to figure this out. Look, the last couple of years, I have been focused more on this, but this is where I am. I'm in my 50s before I started to understand this. So I hope that story kind of resonates with you, and you might be able to look at time in your life or what you're doing maybe right now in parts of your life where you might be pushing so hard against that window and it may not be, it's never going to open. And are you slowly killing yourself? When if you decided to stop, pause, look around, and go out the open door. So just a thought. I think it's a really, really great little story that I wanted to share today. So these stories that we have in our heads about our identities and who we are and how hard we have to push and hustle harder and all of this to get ahead in our careers. These are seasons and chapters that we go through. And you might be in a season in your life where you might be building your skill set, for instance. You might be, pushing for momentum. You might be nurturing your family, staying home as a stay-at-home mum. You might be, focusing on your personal development. We go through stages of doing that as well. You might be pivoting in your career. You might be studying or educating yourself. So different seasons require different levels of energy, identities, and decisions. So this is where I think sometimes we go through these different seasons. We need to honor the chapter that we are in. So when we realize where we are and how, what chapter we are actually in, whether it's in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, they all require something different of you. So like for me, when I turned 50, I realized I was at the midlife crossroads. That's what I ended up calling it because I didn't know until I got there that nothing aligned with me anymore. Everything had shifted and I needed to pivot in what I was doing because I just nothing was going well. So when things don't align with you anymore and things don't feel right, that is how you know that when you are out of alignment and that you're having an identity shift and it is time for you to make those changes. Because if you don't, you're going to resent where you are in your life. So it's really important to think about, take that pause and figure out what chapter you are in, what season you are in, and acknowledge where you are, honor that season. Don't judge yourself for where you are in that season if it's a difficult one. Or, if you're not, even if you're at home, a stay-at-home mum and you're feeling like you should be back in, the career and making money and being in the sisterhood and hustling harder. I just want you to hear this. It is about honoring the season that you're in and being kind to yourself and not judging yourself for whatever season you are in. It's really important that you do that because we all go through different seasons. And I also want to remind you that you're not behind, right? Because whatever season you're in, you might be thinking, okay, I'm always feeling like I'm behind. I can completely relate because I always have felt like I wasn't doing enough or I was behind or I was something was lacking or I wasn't good enough. And all these things will start to happen where you think about your identity and all the things that you think that you're not good at. You need more support around that. But honor the chapter that you are in and know that you are in the right place for where you need to be. Focus on this. The alignment is the assignment. And finding alignment in the chapter you are in is the most important thing that you can do. Because for years we were taught push harder, prove more, do more, hustle more. And what did it do? It led to burnout. It led to exhaustion. It led to disconnection. I think we've become a lot wiser around our well-being, our health, our focus, self-awareness now, that it's not always about, push, 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 like we always thought it was. It's about matching your energy to your identity and matching it to your truth. Because friction will show up in your life, right? So I talk about the metamorphosis. So you think about the cocoon stage. So we go from a caterpillar into a cocoon and we emerge the beautiful butterfly. So each chapter, we have this cocoon stage, which can be really difficult. It can be a disorientating time. It can be confusing. It can feel like a struggle. But what happens inside that cocoon? Inside that cocoon, you're actually dissolving. You're dissolving old identities. You're changing. You're moving. You're becoming, you're in your becoming. So that cocoon stage is preparing you for the next level. And you can't rush it. It is what it is, right? Wherever you are. Again, it comes back to honoring that chapter that you're in, whatever it is. The cocoon stage is the hardest stage, but you will emerge and you'll break through that as well. So sometimes this disconnection can take place and this friction and you feeling like you're behind, out of alignment, but you are just really going through your metamorphosis in that cocoon stage, which is inside that chapter. And you get to this point where you feel like you're wanting to create something more meaningful. And that's a really positive sign that you are done with that old identity where you are now and that you're wanting to move forward to create something, to reinvent something, to, just push yourself into this new chapter where you feel like you're stepping into the highest version of yourself. And if you're at that point right now, I really encourage you just to keep going, because what's fascinating about what's happening right now in the world is when I was doing my TEDx talk and I did a lot of research around this, I realized that women midlife, let's say 40s, even 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, more women are starting small businesses and becoming entrepreneurs at record rates, right? So we are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, women in the world. And there is a big shift, financial shift happening right now. The wealth is shifting and it's moving more to women. A lot more women are creating a lot more wealth. So there's a lot of things happening right now. So women are starting these businesses, but what they're doing is they're doing it in a way where they're honoring the chapter that they're in, and they're honoring their well-being and their health and their wellness, and they're juggling all these things like the scales, because this whole myth about the scales having it all in balance, at different times in our lives and different chapters, the scales will tip. One time it'll be like this, you'll be home with the kids more, and other times it'll be the career more. So it's never really in balance. Can you have it all? Yes, you can have it all, but probably not at the same time. So this is this identity shift. This is this myth about balance. This is this perception around, having it all and being successful in every area of your life. There are times where you will have to find that there'll be a balance. You can't have it all at once at the same time. But with women now moving into a lot of these careers and small businesses, what I'm seeing is this identity shift of having an incredible business, starting something new, reinventing yourself, and doing it from a place of alignment and trust, and also a sense of well-being. So it's not about hustling harder and burning yourself out anymore, which is brilliant. And so something is really, really shifting. I'm finding it's happening everywhere. If you're feeling like that's happening to you right now, it's inside you, you're not alone, and you're not behind. You are definitely in your becoming. And you might be feeling between a couple of versions of yourself right now. But again, it's probably the shift from the snake to the horse here. But that's the transformation. It's all that cocoon stage is a transformation that we go through. And just knowing that, this cocoon stage is never glamorous. Transformation is never glamorous. It's always a struggle. It's always difficult, but you will get through it. You just got to keep going, because the caterpillar dissolves before it becomes a butterfly, and it doesn't just dissolve instantly. It takes a process. Your identity will dissolve. Old belief systems will dissolve. Old bad patterns and health patterns and things that have held you back, they will dissolve. Limiting beliefs will dissolve. So that cocoon stage can feel uncomfortable, but just know that it is the transformation and it's underway, and it's a really, really powerful season for you to be in there. So protect that energy, protect that powerful time in your life. One of the most important things I want to talk about right now is this whole idea about protecting your energy, because one of the things I did last year, beginning of last year, I decided that I was going to be very intentional about my energy and treating it like it was a precious currency. Now, this thought process around your energy is a currency and spend it wisely, if you can get your head around that and start to understand that it really is your precious currency, and just don't be giving away your energy to so freely to people or so freely to notifications and distractions, because we live in this world right now where it is designed at stealing your energy and your focus. The apps and the notifications and everything out there on social media right now is not interested in your goals. It's not interested in your well-being. What it's interested in is your time and your eyes and your focus. So we have to be really, really conscious of that and try desperately to make sure that we are intentional about keeping our energies. What I still do every morning is I turn my phone off onto silent and do not disturb. And then I get up in the morning at 6 a.m. and my notifications do not come through. So no email comes through, no notification comes through. I don't go onto social media. I go into the sauna and I put on a 20-minute podcast. So sorry, not a podcast. I listen to a 20-minute meditation. Usually it's Dr. Joe Dispenza, because I love his ones. And what that does is it sets me up for the day because I have protected myself in the comparisons, because comparison is a thief of all joy on Instagram. We get up and go, oh gosh, look at all the success she's having. Oh gosh, look at that person. If you set yourself up with that first thing in the morning, the comparison, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you set yourself up and start the endless scrolling and the next minute, you're on there and you're out of control, it's like, 20, 30 minutes have passed. What if you spent that time on yourself? You protected your energy. You didn't give it away to the notifications, all the distractions, all the stuff on social media or other people's opinions or other people's noise or even the kids. You kept that energy for yourself. So I started this energy audit last year and it has changed everything for me. So my mornings are very different. I started this morning ritual and it has been the best thing I have ever done. So I'll go into the sauna and I'll spend 20 minutes doing a meditation and then I'll do my workout and then I just go straight into the pool, which I consider my cold plunge, right? So I come straight up to my neck here. I don't get my hair wet. And then that's what I do. And then I come out, it's taken inflammation out of my body. It's taken cortisol out of my body. It has set me up and protected me for the day. And then I'll have my coffee and my breakfast. And then I'll have a look at a couple of emails or I'll check Instagram or something. But it does not enter my head. I do not allow the world to tell me how to think or behave or take on any stress from the world before I have prepared myself for the day. So I really think that if you can do that and honor that morning ritual, it will change your life. It is so important to be doing that, especially for women in business. Okay. And not even if you're in business, just as a mom, get yourself up half an hour earlier if you can do that and find that sacred time. Treat that time in the morning as a sacred time for you. And it will allow it will stop a lot of this, negative stuff entering into your life before you choose how your day is going to go. So you're reclaiming your clarity and you're reclaiming your energy. And clarity creates alignment. The more clarity you have and you see how your day is going to unfold, the more success you will have. So I got obsessed with this productivity. It's something that I've been doing for a while now. And, it's been incredible for my growth, for my mindset, for my health, my wellness, everything. It helped me to rest. It helped me to heal. It helped me to do my personal development in the morning. I was getting fitter. I was doing my stretches. So I was feeling better. So yeah, give it a go. Really, I really encourage you to do that because at the end of the day, this is how it's going to go. You are the author of your story, right? So you are in a chapter. So whatever chapter you're in, your best chapter is still being written. I truly believe that. So whatever chapter you're in right now, your best chapter is still being written. So you are the author, you are the director, and you are the main character. So write yourself a bestseller. Okay. You're not an extra in the background. You're not a little sidekick inside your story. You are the main character. You have control over certain things in your life. And one of them is your morning ritual. And one of them is about stopping all of that stuff coming in. You have control over what comes into your mind first thing in the morning. Use that morning ritual as a sacred time for you, and it will make a massive difference in your life. And believe that you are the main character of your life and that you are the author of your own show. Okay. So I hope that helps because I know that these are the things that have definitely helped me, really working through a lot of different chapters, different seasons, and also being able to set myself up for better health, better well-being, and changing a lot of those bad habits of just hustling harder, that little fly on the glass, pecking, until I was burnt out and I had nothing left to give. I do not live like that anymore. And I just encourage you to really focus on turning around and walking out the door. So I also want to share with you that I spoke last week, I think it was last week, I spoke about I was going to start the new series of having incredible women and guests on my podcast on Harmony and the Hustle. Well, that is starting next week. And I can't wait to have my first guest on. She is an amazing woman. I'm not going to tell you who she is, but you'll definitely know her. She's very well known. She's an incredible, successful businesswoman, such a beautiful person, always happy, always smiling. And she was actually the first person that I connected with and invested in her mastermind when I left the restaurants. And I was really wanting to come out into the world of online marketing, podcasting, keynote speaking, all these things, running my own business online. I went to her and she taught me so many incredible things, like even what I'm doing right now, everything I'm doing right now on this podcast, she showed me how to do it. she's one of the best in the business, and she does a lot of stuff overseas as well. And she is going to be my guest next week. So I can't say anything. It's a secret. Shh, but she'll be on next week. And I can't wait to share that with you as well. You're going to absolutely love her. And yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you. It is a new chapter. There is so much stuff going on. This is going to be a great season for all of us, but not just next week with this amazing lady. I have all these other incredible women all lined up for you too. So as promised, I'm going to be bringing the goods, and I'm going to be making sure that they share their stories and how they got to where they got. These are the questions I'm going to find out. I want to know their underdog story, the struggles, and how they were able to overcome a lot of these things to be where they are right now. So, yep. So if you haven't subscribed, I really encourage you to subscribe now and watch it on YouTube. Subscribe there because you don't want to miss an episode, especially with all these amazing, incredible, powerful women coming on, sharing all their success and their insights and their experience and life lessons. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I don't call it ugly. I call it battle scars and what they learned from that. So thank you for being here today. I hope you got something out of it, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Bye for now.